Remix. Remix. Remix.
What it do, niggas?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Remix Morning Show right here on Black Liberation Media, the best morning show in the history of all media, featuring Amber, Jared, and we don't know about Geechee these days. I hope he's all right.
Quit. And honestly, this is a fucked up way to tell us that you quit, but it's whatever. I could be sad about that, but I'm so happy about white people that crying this morning because a plantation in Louisiana burned down.
Oh, man.
We should watch the video of them crying.
If you got it, play it. Send it. The hat, Amber, already getting, welcome everybody. Yeah, the hat already getting shout outs. Please, everybody, like, share, subscribe, support the Patreon, where you just could, if you are a member of the Patreon, you can see last night's discussion roundtable about Andor, which I will continue to say is the popular commercial media that does politically what Black people wish and hope sinners would do.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Speaking of sinners. Speaking of sinners, muted and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But while he's muted, I got your link. We can whenever you're ready, we can pull it up. Howdy, partner.
Howdy.
Yeah, that was last night. So everybody head back over to Patreon, Black Liberation Media's Patreon, links in the show description. And
I need to take his camera off. Lord Jesus.
Bro is, doing that work out there in these streets is rough. It's rough.
I just want, for people who are watching.
Walaikum salam. Huh?
That's your brother said. He be in the chat.
He be in the chat. Talk about being in the streets, these organized the streets. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you wear the hat like this? Or am I supposed to wear it like this? Like more of a like tip thing. Somebody in the chat, help me out. Am I supposed to wear it like this? Or are you supposed to put it back? Like that. Like which one is it? My forehead really big. So I mean I can't do too much.
I don't know the etiquette on cowboy hat wearing.
It's hard out here. I'm just trying to be prepared for the Cowboy Carter concert. And I ain't never worn no cowboy hat before. Okay. Thank you, brother.
Are you going to that?
How far towards the front are we talking? Like this far?
And what is causing the scratching is on your mic? Is what's happening?
Hat. It's the hat.
Is it?
Me touching the hat.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay.
So that's perfect. Ogre said that's perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Okay. Because I can't be looking ghetto at the concert.
So you're going to this is Beyonce's thing?
Yes. I mean, honestly, let me just tell y'all the story. I'm a victim. Okay. I was doing my normal TikTok scrolling a few weeks ago, just on the internet at 3 a.m. And I started seeing these videos of Beyonce's daughter, Rumi, walking out, doing her little choreography. And I said, this bitch is in the show. And I went and bought some tickets. I'm a victim.
A victim. They
truly.
Got you.
I'm truly
you got. So how many kids? First of all, how many kids do they have?
3.
And are all of them in the performance?
No, they still hiding the sun. I don't know what's going on with them, but
they ain't hiding the sun from the world. They're hiding the world from their son.
I wasn't hiding my son from the world. I was hiding my world.
Oh wow. Okay. Because Blue Ivy, I see she's everywhere now. She's like basically the
Blue
next.
Ivy is the manager.
She is the manager of the kids.
Blue Ivy is very much the manager. Somebody made a sign at the LA show that said, "Thank you, Manager Blue," and she saw it. She said,
Tafari in the building. Peace, 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 peace.
So I missed the beginning. You went to the
They
Cowboy
said
Carter
happy
concert or something?
God damn, how far? My
No, she's
head is
preparing to
busy.
go. She's preparing to go to the concert.
Oh, and then you have a fan too?
Yeah, I
You
do.
know
Should I
Oh.
go get the fan?
You should. You should go.
All right, I'll be right back.
Oh, these are accessories. This
Yes.
is an
Have you-
accessory.
Have you not seen people popping them fans yet?
Nah, man, I'm not. You know, man, I'm nowhere.
You mean to tell me you haven't heard any of Where Those Fans At songs?
Yeah. I'm the
Yeah.
anti bone crusher. I'm nowhere. I'm never there. I'm nowhere and never there. I'm not outside.
Your doctor says stop. Beyonce is one of the best entertainers of all time. It will be a great show. I fully plan to be turned up.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
might
I
be
have no
even
doubt
caught on
about
a
that.
bull somewhere, riding a mechanical bull, living my best life. Who knows?
Every time I see a clip or hear a story, I will say, I mean, she does seem to give a great show. I don't have any
Those
doubts
clips
about that.
Are amazing. I said, you know what? Bring back real artistry because that's
of
a real
all times, though, like of all time.
Yeah, because Michael Jackson dead.
No, first of
That-
all, neither of them are Prince, so none of them.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
Prince
Like,
is
all,
dead
yeah.
too. So
No,
when
But
we
I'm
they
just
say all
saying.
time,
But
Whitney
it,
they didn't say
Houston is
living.
dead.
They didn't say living. They said all of all time.
Oh no, I'm talking about people who are alive.
Yeah, see, no, all you can't say of all time.
yeah, I can't speak to whoever is alive today, but Prince,
Okay.
I saw Prince twice, and it don't get better than that. I would argue, though I've never seen it. Prince was amazing, and part of the reason why he's dead is because when you hit your 50s and you trying to do 200 to 300 shows a year, doing splits and dancing and you know, the only way to recover is through medication. You know, people need to chill. You can't be that old doing that much work. So, you know,
I'm not standing for that national anthem shit. Actually, I had posted on
they
somebody's,
played the national anthem at Beyonce's show.
She does some like national anthem thing where she's showing that like that clip of whoever that rock guy was that played or something. I don't fucking know. I don't stand for the national anthem. I don't say the national anthem. I don't give a fuck. I'm going for Rumi and Blue Ivy, to be real, to be honest. It's something about Rumi and that attitude that reminds me so much of me. Because at first she was coming out, she was like so geeked up to be out there. And I'm pretty sure her sister put her on a pip and said, calm that shit down. So now when she goes out, she'd be like, hi, I'm here, whatever, and be so annoyed, and it's so funny.
Maybe she annoyed because of child labor. She ain't getting enough cuts.
That's what I'm saying. I say, you know, there are child labor laws. Does Beyonce get an exception? That's fine. Let her get through my show that I paid floor seats for, and then we can talk after that. I also had a very hard time picking an outfit because I don't believe in the American flag and other shit. So like everybody's getting all like red, white, and blued out, and I was like, fuck that. I'll be wearing black, white, and a little yellow. And we're gonna make it work. But honestly, wearing cowboy hats is a lot. Like y'all head don't be hurting a little bit.
Who you talking about, y'all? Because I ain't never wore one in my life.
Really? Aren't you like Gullah Geechee? I know you wearing cowboy?
I mean, I put my granddaddy hat on one time, but that's it. I can't. I did wear fedoras because fedoras, I guess, are a little different. But
Ooh, I be
That's not a
starting-
cowboy hat, though.
It's
yeah,
not.
so there you go. I ain't never had one of them on.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't say now, Maggie. I wouldn't say I'm standing her kids. I just think that they're really talented. I appreciate the way Blue Ivy has learned that choreography because she said she saw them videos. She saw that she sucked and she got better. And I said that's real.
See, can you say kids suck? See, that just don't make sense.
Yeah, you can. She sucked. She was trash that first show. I said, why is she off a little bit? Why her?
But she's literally learning how to dance on stage as like she wasn't
She
trained.
was practicing before though. What was you
Yeah.
practicing?
That's my amateur night at the Apollo story. That's what it reminds me.
Wait, you did Amateur Night at the Apollo?
Wait,
No. I went in the audience,
And you were
and
booing.
I wasn't booing.
What you talking about during the kids portion of it?
They had this. So first of all, I just want to reiterate that I got put in the pretty people section as you got seated when you walk in. they were literally putting people that they wanted to be seen on camera, and they were calling it like the pretty people. So they put me in the pretty people section. So all the haters can fall back. I've been confirmed.
Wait, this one you was looking
as
like
pretty.
Christopher Reeves.
I was younger. This is some
Christopher
years
Williams,
ago. This is some year Christopher Williams, right? Not
Yeah.
Reeves. But not Superman. But Monique was hosting. And no, see, that's the thing. See, this is the fallacy. And by the way, there's a fallacy that was exposed in Jungle Fever, in Spike Lee's Jungle Fever. I am not just good looking because I'm light skinned.
Mm-hmm.
I am good looking regardless of complexion.
That man.
When I first saw Jared in person, I did say, "Damn, Jared is attractive." Very shocked and appalled.
Well, I don't know why shocked and appalled.
because people look better in person to me personally. They look better.
But
in person to me.
the sister in Jungle Fever, who was decrying being demeaned as unattractive because she's dark skinned, I would argue it's not fair. It had nothing to do with her complexion. So this is that's not fair.
You, Jared, so we do know that you're not ugly.
So I'm just saying,
light skinness lifts you up, but you're not ugly. Like, you're attractive.
I feel I overcome the light skinness because remember after Tyrese sang on the bus, my era was over. I'm trying to say I've been out of you. I get it. There's a history here, but the light skin era ended decades ago. So I've already had my moment. It was what, but the real point of the story.
Tyrese brought us into the sun.
Did it end decades ago? Or did you get
that was the sign. That to me was that in New Jack City where Christopher Williams got his ass beat.
That's what I'm about to say because I think Wesley brought us in, but okay.
No, I'm just saying, but what confirmed it for me was when I saw that, because I was still maybe in denial, maybe after the Christopher Williams thing. But when Tyrese, but my point is that they had this little white girl was there. And she performed and got booed off the stage. Monique came in, they shut it down. They shut down the taping. Monique came out, gave a speech to the audience. I wish we had phones like that back then. She said, we're not doing that. We're not going to go out on live TV. We're not going to go out on TV being seen booing this white girl off the stage. So they had her come back out, re-perform. It was just as bad, but everybody applauded, and that's what went out on TV. And that was one of my quintessential lessons about how TV works. But my thing was, as her parents should have been held responsible. You have to be.
Now we asking people, why are they cheering for her? We know they cheering for her because they telling them to cheer. And I had a feeling about that too.
You have to understand as a parent where your child is talent-wise. The idea that you would send this child out at the amateur night at the Apollo, I know we're all deluded about our children, but somebody needed to be around there and say that's not the spot for her.
You got to give them a pass on the denial. They was in the denial river too, so you got to give them a pass.
Denial is a river. Your husband is gay. That bitch said. She said, "Yeah, Wendy with the man." Denial is a river. Your husband is gay. I said, baby, that man, he was the one.
No, John. I am objectively good looking. So it's not a subjective.
Let's go back to the meter, because someone said in the chat that I got a CVS list of how fine and attractive people are. I just want to say, fine is separate from attractive. Attractive.
I agree with that.
Attractive. I did not say fine. I just want to.
I agree with that. I would agree with that.
People that are fine is different, because Jared is like a big brother uncle to me, so I really can't see it. But I wasn't shocked. I said, "Damn, Jared is attractive." I had never seen him in person.
I'm not mad at that distinction, and I don't mind being. And if I'm clear enough that
19 Keys is good looking though. I mean, let's ignore the fact that he be wearing them weird ass hats. That's a fine ass black man until he starts talking. The moment he opens his mouth, he loses me every
his
time.
Politics are ugly. I won't judge his physique and phenotype, but his politics.
And I said that nigga got good skin and a nice beard. I would do things.
Thank you, Brittany. So, I passed through fine for a minute. I will say that. I will say that in my lifetime, I passed through fine for a minute. You got to go to my Instagram and find some of the.
Chat said, "What the hell? What the hell? What the hell on?
I
What
was
the
there
hell
for a
y'all
second.
say?
I think I was there for a second. I was
What the hell, Berry?
in shape. I was, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
I'm gonna say,
saying?
earn your ego
Somebody said
stroke.
earn your ego stroke.
That's funny as hell.
That's funny.
Let that man get his thing in the sun, man.
No,
Listen,
I'm saying my
as long
moment
as you know
ended.
you had a peak period. I think you know you had a peak time.
I do know. I'm very
I'm in
clear.
that peak time right now. That's why I be acting up.
Enjoy it. Try to embrace it because I didn't know it. When I was in it, I didn't know it. That was the problem. I didn't know
You
it.
didn't
then.
know it. You know,
I
it's
didn't-
times like this that I'm grateful for a delusional
Yeah.
ass mama. Because my mama done always told me and my sister that we was the best thing since sliced bread. Even when I was in middle school and I was not that cute, I still thought I was that bitch. You could never tell me that I wasn't. Ever.
What's that hype me up dude who always do them hype me up joints? You ever seen them on Instagram or whatever you on?
Mm.
Why do you be on Instagram so much? Let's explore that.
I don't be on Instagram. I just be seeing the viral stuff. You ain't never see the hype me up video?
Mm-mm.
The dude who be dancing, the little tall dude, he really like 7 foot. He be dancing the what's that girl Glorilla song? Hype me up.
I don't know what it is. Amani, you're right. I am self-aware, and I think that's what's important. Also, Beyonce definitely shouldn't let that girl go out there like that when she was dancing like that. She should have known that she was not that good yet. But sometimes you need the internet to humble you. That's what you need, and they did, and they got her together.
The internet
And now when I
humbles.
go see her,
It's
I
not
make my
humble.
money
The
back.
internet is abusive. The internet. That's why sometimes that's why you gotta show up on the remix with a little bit of energy sometimes because the internet is ruthless. Ruthless. So, but no, I appreciate the distinction, and I'm yeah, very clear and good for you, Amber. Enjoy your moment, and I hope it lasts a lifetime.
It will, because I'm that bitch.
There you go. So
I do want to say I don't think that they're hiding the other kids. Somebody in the chat asks, "Ain't they hiding the other kid?" I don't think they're hiding the other kid. I think that they let their children decide if they want to be in the public eye or not, because we've seen glimpses of the
Amber
other.
did say Ibram Kendi was fine, and Jared, I meant to send you some screenshots of that book because I
started reading it. And
you already got it?
I got the Kindle copy, and I will say this: the word socialism appears once.
Capitalism.
The word. Not. I don't think. I don't remember, but it's in distinction. But it's in one sentence. Capitalism and socialism are mentioned as like he was a critic of capitalism, something like that.
Yeah,
and then nationalism is only on one page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the COINTELPRO is not mentioned as specifically. There is reference to Hoover, but there's even reference to the CIA, but it's very much in passing and very much not to contextualize. This is a mess. We're in a very mess of a moment.
And he lodged Malcolm X into the anti-racist movement. Like,
I haven't caught that part.
He's like
that's wild.
He's anti-racist, and when he talked to Kwame Nkrumah, he didn't mention anything about neocolonialism, but Kwame was already talking about it and was just about to write about it before Malcolm died. So I know for a fact they talk about it, but he didn't leave that part on because he was just trying to say all black people should get along and come together.
Like Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana? Yeah. Okay. I really like him.
Even in what we've been reviewing on the 100 years of
it's Ibram Kendi's book about Malcolm X, which
I'll pull it up right here.
Yeah.
I have, in fact, I have it.
I said was fine. I just want to preface that I was talking about that website photo. When I saw actual pictures of him, he's not attractive. That headshot is very well edited, and if we think about it, I have a very specific type. I obviously like movement like niggas with locks or beard. So he just met those things, and he had a dark skin. Like he's
the official biography for young readers is what it's called.
Hey, I think we're gonna have to do a quick episode of that, Jared.
I'm down with it. I mean, I'm looking at it anyway. I'm gonna we have a special. That's fine. We have a special conclusion to the 100 Years of Malcolm X series on Monday morning with some special guests. So I don't know if we're gonna get to it on the show. I don't want to spend too much time on that august show, but with those guests. But I'm down for that, Geechee. I like when we can, you dissect some of these things a little bit. And since we're reading
It's
it
not
and
a
looking at it,
backseat, Elon. I just feel like if we're gonna judge who I think is attractive or fine, we got to go off of what I saw. I only saw a headshot. Then when we started pulling up videos, I said, no, he's not that good looking. But I couldn't tell at first. So it's not my fault.
bad. I didn't mean to have. I do think it's interesting. I do enjoy when the show interrupts Amber's conversation with the chat.
It don't matter to me. But I do want to go back because somebody said Malika Jabali is fine. Are you talking about the girl who used to work at Essence?
Wait, you gotta let that one breathe. You gotta let that air breathe. Let that one air out. No, wait, let me finish this really quick though. So I went to the library and I had to find it down the main library downtown Atlanta to see Ibram Kendi and get a free book. That's how I got the free book.
Not a free book.
But when it's time for Q&A, you know I'm gonna get my little push method going on to see how the crowd react. And there was a sister from Spelman that asked him a question, and she used capitalism explicitly. And I think even maybe he said something about socialism. He avoids that answer and kind of goes somewhere else. And then he ended up saying something like these schools should have more radical speakers that come out. They should invite these radical speakers. And then after he answered that question, she got up. She said, okay, well, since you said that, you are going to come to Spelman, aren't you? To act like he's some radical speaker. So when it was my time to come up, because he was playing to this Malcolm versus Martin type stuff. And I said, both of them met with Kwame Nkrumah. Both of them developed internationalist politics and anti-capitalist politics. And then I was like, make sure you also don't say that Martin's nonviolent joint was a philosophy, because he also had his gun to protect himself as well. But then I pushed with the what should kids take away from there? What should they be doing afterwards? Given that Malcolm also was considered a communist and socialist and all these other things, and he just kind of like danced around that too. And I filmed it, so whenever we do our review, we gonna play those videos. But
wait, how did you film it? Did he know you were filming?
I was right. I was hit as soon as I asked him the question. I hit him like that. He was looking at the camera stuff.
It shouldn't matter. It's on a stage. Right. He's on a stage.
It's public too. It's public and it's free. So.
I know, but it's just funny to me because I always wonder if people start like getting nervous when they say they're being filmed. That's all.
Not him.
No, they get nervous. If there's nervousness, it's around being asked to talk about Malcolm in a certain context. Mm-hmm. And the little clips you sent me. See, this is the problem that I have. Kendi is not stupid, and Kendi is not a bad speaker. He's not, I don't think he's bad at presenting himself in the way he wants to be presented. So even in those clips you sent in our text group, he's not, if you are not already positioned.
What clips you sent in the text group, Geechee?
If you're not positioned to see a certain political, to recognize, or if you're not aware of the history, his answers, I mean, it's I think very sophisticated and difficult to assess. And then you got the sister sitting next to him, just the interviewing him, just like, yes,
hyping him up.
Yes.
She
this is
so hey, after the thing, she was like, okay, so what we doing now? Both of us signing books. So you could tell why she was on stage. But I think that's the point though. It makes it really hard. So in spaces like this, in my head, I call it like a push method. Like you ask like a more nudging critical question, and then what'll happen is everybody in the crowd will come, not everybody, but people in the crowd will come to you and follow up. And this time, the only people that follow up and say, yo, that was a really good question, was only white people. All the black people was like, they just trying to get their book signed. They ain't got time for no hating ass nigga trying to talk about whatever Kendi not talk about. So, I mean,
not you used to them fanboying you afterwards.
No, but the purpose is to see who's more radical in this audience, to kind of like go longer or talk more. But yeah, I
put my hat on so y'all take me more serious, because Geechee sending videos and chats and shit didn't send me nothing.
Because you all you gonna say is, damn, he fine.
I wasn't gonna say that. You don't actually even know what I'm gonna say. You didn't include me in the conversation. Are you racist?
Yeah, a little bit. Last thing. I was like, listen. Because it's an open space. I thought about inviting them to the platform, but I'm like, that ain't gonna be no good interview. We do a better job just reading the book and talking about it, because I feel like he either gonna say no or he gonna be on some weird shit. So I was like, we'll just do the book.
Geechee said you amberist in the chat. I agree. He's an all-time hater, you guys, and I just don't understand. Is it the hat?
Yeah, the hat is throwing me off today. I thought Beyonce was up there today. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Cowboy Carter.
It doesn't look bad. I'm predisposed to having a problem with that.
Imagine how great it's gonna look with my vest with the little fringes and my cute little bandana thing that I had on yesterday, and my little booty shorts and my fan.
And how much were the tickets?
I paid $420 for a floor seat in the very middle
for a floor seat. That these days that seems not to be too bad. And I will say to the people that hate on the artists, the hate, I think, in terms of the ticket prices, it's not entirely her fault. I'm sure it has everything to do with Live Nation and the monopolization of public space
and the reseller stuff. Because a lot of the artists I've seen don't really manage it well. Like, there's this guy I'm going to go see, Akeem Ali, and at first his tickets were like $30-something, and then I went on there yesterday to buy the tickets, and they were like $66, and I said, "What the fuck?" And it was like, "This is a guaranteed resale on Ticketmaster."
But if they really wanted to do, like, it would be great if she did, and I know you can't. I mean, this is sort of my own contradiction, but it would, one of the things that I always thought got targeted Pac, that had a target put on Pac more than anything, were those public statements he gave about doing free concerts in the hood with all these superstars, where the money generated would go back directly to those communities without the intermediary of a Live Nation type of venue. And so my initial thought was, if you're making all this, if you're charging all this money for a ticket price and you're making all this money, you could on the back end just redistribute that in some profound way, but then you would lose the access to those spaces. But
I know that's right, Brittany. Yeah. Fine as hell. Kimi Casanova, yeah, I'm rocking with it.
Who the fuck is that?
Akeem Ali, he's like one of those artists who has like personas, and one of his is Kimi Casanova, and he has this other one that's like a pimp.
That's still that's still on.
That didn't answer your question.
No, who the fuck is that?
You thought he would know one of the personas?
Not at all. What he rapper? Singer?
He's like a rapper and singer. I mean, he's like a soulful brother. But then also he has an afro. Then he'll also braid that shit back. Oh, he be doing it for me.
Yeah, MF, and somebody sent me that clip with Glenn Lowry, and I just couldn't watch it. Glenn Lowry is I don't know if people even remember. I mean, one of the, Glenn Lowry is just an old school Black conservative who has been assaulting, any form of advanced politics for a long time. Him and John McWhorter have a podcast together. It's disgusting. I really find them really irritating. Like, I can have fun and make fun of like the Breakfast Club and other celebrities and the EYL, all of that. I can do all of that a little bit, but those two, what they represent to me is a distinct brand of Black anti-Blackness, and it's so disgusting, and they're so smug and arrogant, and it's just gross. So I couldn't watch it. I did see that he sat down with the idea that Glenn Lowry and Tucker Carlson would have anything. This is when the Will Smiths moments need to happen. Keep Malcolm's name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you two even sit down to talk in any kind of, like, that's just making a metaphor and not advocating. Obviously, we would never, and it would never. But I'm just saying, yeah, the Sowell types. I mean,
I wonder if Ben Crump make it advancing
exactly.
Ben Crump advancing on the Malcolm litigations has encouraged all these artists. I mean, well, I guess they're kind of artists, but authors to write about Malcolm again. Like, is that like the new groundswell? Because I never would have thought Kahindi would have done.
So Kahindi. So all right. So I saw Kahindi's documentary. I saw the Kahindi Andrews has a documentary coming out about his book on Malcolm that I am honored to have been invited to be a participant in. He sent me the preview. It's going to launch on his YouTube channel on Monday for Malcolm's birthday. and he will be invited in some form or fashion to this platform to talk about it. And as I said to him already, because Crump is in it, and in fact, I sent Kahindi the quotes, and I said to him, I was like, look, man, I appreciate that you did the documentary. I appreciate being invited to it, but I feel like in some kind of way, I've become participant in what I've been critical of in terms of how we end up being placed. So my initial question to Kahindi was, in response to a certain question about South Africa, the part of me answering it I thought was particularly bad. I don't like usually watching myself for this reason. I was like, so I sent him a message. I was like, that's what I said? I didn't mention this and this and this. And he was like, no, you did. Just for editing, it didn't get in there. So I was like, oh man. So the version that for instance, of me answering this one question about Nelson Mandela in South Africa in relation to Malcolm X, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And then to find out and be reminded that I actually did say what I would have wanted to say, but it's not in there, was, so I was like, I said to Kahindi, like, we have to find a way of dealing with this contradiction of wanting to make a documentary that you want to promote and have this, be seen, and you want to deal with some, you want to talk to his daughter, Ilyasah, but in so doing, you put yourself in a certain political space, and this is where you end up meeting, have Ben Crump in there, and Ben Crump says, and I sent this to Kahindi, he says
what he say?
He's using Malcolm's phrases to twist him. So he says, God bless you by any means necessary. For instance, that was one of the lines that you hear in the documentary. And I said to Kahindi, I was like, I forgot the exact language. I was like, that's not, that troubles me. And then I got to find the other one, but there was another one where he does a version of that, where you hear that in the documentary. And I'm saying, so he says, right. He says, Crump says, we will keep fighting for justice for Malcolm X. And then you hear him saying, God bless you by any means necessary. And I was saying, my point though, is that this distorts the message. The point should be fighting for justice for Malcolm X. The point should be fighting to build a movement that Malcolm wanted to build. Like, I think I know he wants to turn this into the lawsuit against the state. Mm-hmm. But that shouldn't be the goal here. The goal isn't to win a lawsuit, even if you win against the state. The goal is to build movements that reflect Malcolm's politics. That's what I would think. And then when you say God bless you by any means necessary,
that shit is weird.
But that's not what he meant. That's a distortion. That's not.
Yeah.
And I will say, the one critique I have about some shit Ben Crump be saying that I don't like is that it's always very like God centered, as if like that's the only thing we can talk about. Like even when they were doing the stuff for the trial and they came down to do a press conference with Tyre Nichols' family, and they were saying like, yeah, please keep praying for the family, keep praying for the family. Man, fuck some shit up. Can I fuck some shit up for the family? Like, can we put out some flyers that say wanted, dead, or unalive for the family? Like, what other stuff can we do? Because praying is only going to get us so far. And God said, faith without works is dead. So I would hope that He won't be out here organizing, not just praying about some shit. But what do I know?
What's the move? What's our movement?
Man, God forbid I go out first, but if I do, Amber, if I go out early, you please speak up at my whatever.
I'm gonna say some shit.
What was our movement lawyer? The movement lawyer who used to be he used to interview or introduce Amos Wilson, Dr. Ben, and all them on back in the days. What's his name?
Yeah,
I'm not blanking on his name right now.
Man, me too.
And that's what I want
to quote him all the time.
This hat is changing me. I just started shrugging my shoulders and shit. Ooh,
damn, it's crazy.
I'm really becoming a cowgirl.
Oh my God, what is this? I'm even seeing his face.
Me too. With the
and he worked on the
Mega Evers?
No. Alton Maddox.
Alton Maddox. Yeah.
Thank you, Internetter.
Who's Alton Maddox?
Yeah, but
Alton Maddox was a black movement lawyer in New York back in the day, and he had a split with. He used to work with Al Sharpton when Al Sharpton when they were doing the case for what's his young sister's name? Now I'm blanking on that. But
Latasha Harley.
What was her name?
It wasn't Latasha. Like
no. No, that was the sister in L.A. There was a sister who accused the NYPD of abusing her, and it became this big case. Law and Order even did an episode dedicated, based on it. Tawana Brawley, thank you, and thank you, Renee, and it was a big case, and then it there was some controversy, and if I remember correctly, it was largely concluded that she faked the whole thing to blame, and Maddox wanted to keep defending the argument. If I remember correctly, the split was that Sharpton wanted to make some sort of deal and appeal, and Maddox wanted to keep the argument focused on basically, even if she's lying, the cops do this stuff all the time, so let's focus on that. That's the way I remember it.
Right.
And Maddox, I used to have this tape where I used to quote all the time, because Maddox would say to you only a corrupt society sets up a situation where you have to be judged by a jury of your peers. Only criminals establish a situation like that to make sure that they're judged by their peers and not the people. He ended up being disbarred, I think, and I think he was disbarred and lost his career.
Now, why was he disbarred?
I think around this case, I think he was. I really don't remember enough to get it. But,
oh my gosh!
But I said all of this to say,
is that Kamau? Am I getting this right? Kamau would remember this.
Kamau trying to get all his credit for bringing up the name, but I brought him up because I wish he was alive to debate your boy, whatever his name is, Ben Crump.
That nigga said, "Thank you, Kamau." How you gonna thank yourself, niggas?
Oh, he turned into a preacher. Oh, who? Wow. Maddox?
No, really? I mean, it doesn't seem
I don't know. But look, the point. I love your idea though, Geechee. But the problem is there is no Ben Crump if you don't get if Alton Maddox is. This is the thing. Like they don't exist together. You have to get rid of one for there to be another. For there to be the other. That's why we don't ever see these debates. We don't see anybody challenging any of these people because they have that whole coterie of defenders. So this is sort of what I was even thinking. Now I'm in this documentary with this guy. And I'm saying this is the contradiction that I'm often critical of. So I'm
Jerry, that's why when you do stuff like that, you gotta also record yourself to the side. So you can post the full clip, because I don't fucking trust these media.
Well, he said all the full interviews are going to go on the website and all that, but I get you're right on all that's fine. But and although in that setup, I don't even know if I could have done. But anyway, but yeah, if you're right, all of that's true. Yeah, but I'm really just trying to point out the fact that we end up with these versions that put all of these different politics in one space to make it seem like everybody's on the same team. So if someone unwittingly watches this documentary, they would see me in there, they would see Crump in there, they would see Ilyasah in there, they would see briefly Marc Lamont Hill in there, and then assume that everybody's on the same page with the same thing. So then when Crump gets a more popular, famous platform to say he's doing what he's doing, and the contradictions and the differences, if they're brought out at all, they even seem.
Put out a disclaimer. Be like, I don't actually fuck with none of these niggas.
That's not how, but it doesn't work like that.
And
That's
it's not gonna make the cut. It's not gonna make the cut.
Zach Kondo came on here and said, I disavow my involvement in that Netflix documentary, and yet the Netflix documentary is still all over the place, and the dude who made it is still trading off of it.
I'm not thinking that's gonna make them take it down. I'm saying you have to set a precedent ahead of time before people view it. Be like, I don't fuck with them. Just so y'all know.
But Yipper is making my point exactly. I'm just hating. See?
No, because light-skinned men are natural haters. And that should be studied.
It should be. What about my melanin deficiency leads me to hate? It's worthy of it's
always calling you light-skinned.
They just don't want to say that that's why I started the show the way I did. They can't bring themselves to admit the beauty. So they have to demean it.
Sure, that's what it is. So Manifesto said, I remind her of her cousin Jasmine. I think your cousin Jasmine reminds you of me.
So Jared, back to this thing, right? So you will go on panels.
Go off my punchline, damn.
And really, that's the point. That's right. I am a hater, so hate harder. That's right.
So you hate harder.
Chill out. You would go to a debate, not a debate. You would go to a panel knowing that you're going to be the only type of voice on that panel, because you don't want to concede a particular side of struggle. would that same argument be true? Although I know this is more edited for some of those
Zanzibar.
videos. Jared is
My
terrible.
bad, Geechee.
That's fucked up.
That's the worst thing that's ever been said
that's
about
really
me.
fucked up right there.
That's,
But no,
What kind
that's
of internet are you
congratulations,
using? Are you okay?
Zanzibar.
you don't
That's-
think it's a challenge for you to kind of like knock a seed to a site of struggle to kind of infuse something on there, especially if you're like able to like drop a line there that they
No,
can't
listen. In general, overall, no, I don't think there's value in it. So if I'm invited somewhere, I'm almost
You're
always going to
yourself.
be there, and I'm going to be myself, and do the best I can. But if I step back to try to offer some analysis of the situation, I would have to acknowledge that my appearance here did not have the impact I would hope it had. Or if we're dealing with, as is often the case with me, someone who has a much more popular platform who can then just either twist or avoid or whatever I'm saying, then I end up being positioned and seen, as was said by Yipper, as just the hater. I'm just there to be the contrarian and you know,
hate harder. I agree.
so it doesn't. I don't know that it's effective in the way
Are
that.
we worried
that,
about
you know.
effectiveness? I think we should be worried about impact. You know, the
That-
effectiveness doesn't matter.
I don't know
Did
if
you
I see the
feel my
difference.
hate?
Yeah, how's
yeah.
that different?
Feel
How's
the
that different?
harm from my hate?
Huh? Say that again.
I said, what I want to know is the impact. Did you feel the harm from my hate? Like, do you feel that I hate your stinking guts?
That ain't no effective. That's not effective.
That's not effective.
I didn't say that. I said I don't care about the effectiveness. I care about the impact. And
That-
the impact is that you
Or-
felt the hate I
it's
have. for you.
speculative though. That's
Oh, well
spec-
then but if
No,
that's the
no,
distinction, then I could just go up on the stage and slap somebody. I mean,
Well, I didn't say all that. That's
Word
what
to
you
Will
well, I'm
Smith.
just saying. I'm if the point is to make an individual feel that you hate them, I mean, I could just go up there and be like, "F you, you a B," and kiss my and all, do all of
I
that.
have to do it
And
sophisticatedly. I don't have to do all of that. I just want to like casually tear it down with my words.
but what I'm trying to do is trying to beat their argument and its impact on the audience, and that's what I think I'm trying to.
Like
But
you
I
did
don't
on your
think you- I
interview a
don't-
couple weeks ago, Amber.
What interview?
But both of them actually. The interview with Young Turks and then the interview with NPR or whatever.
I didn't interview with the Young Turks. I just want to
With-
say that.
Oh, my bad. Well, you're right.
Democracy Now.
Did the guy not call you? He talk. My bad. He just
You were on the
he
Young
just covered
Turks?
you. No, he covered you. My bad. He covered
I've
you.
never-
He covered
I've
two
never
stories
watched
about
a
his
second of that.
reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he interviewed you at some point. But
No,
yeah,
I never
anyway.
talked to that man. I don't know that man. I'm sorry to this man. I don't know who that is.
I'm talking about sorry to this man. This girl, she on my. You don't have some THC drink this morning or something? What's going on over there?
No, I just
She's
really
got her
miss you
Cowboy
guys.
Carter
I
excitement.
really look forward to Fridays.
Oh, now you love us.
I do love you so
Mm.
much. Geechee.
When is the show? The Cowboy Carter show.
It's tomorrow.
tomorrow?
I'm catching a flight tonight.
Where you going now? I missed that part too.
I'm going to see the Beyonce concert.
I
in
know, but
Chicago.
where? Oh,
In
Chicago.
Chicago. Child,
Chicago.
something about Jared just leaving. Okay, so now that Jared's gone, I just want to say, I don't know what's going on with your internet, Geechee, but you need to fix that.
Yeah.
Secondly, I did
Yeah.
make the pussy rap playlist because I care about y'all. I made it on YouTube and it's public, so that y'all can go through and see what I'm talking about. I put it in the chat also on here, and I'm gonna put it in the private chat because I feel like we need to discuss. Can we go song for song? What does it look like?
This is the link you sent in the private. This TikTok. Now I don't hear you.
No, she didn't send. She sent it.
Sorry,
in-
I had to. Somebody
and-
called me, and I had to tell them that I was on the live stream. And this nigga called me at the same time every morning. I keep telling this motherfucker.
We only watching one of these too. We're not going through this whole list.
Wait,
Okay,
where's
that's
the
fine. Let me
where's the
select that.
list?
She sent it in the
In the what?
major chat, in the main chat. Could you put it in the private chat, Amber?
Yeah.
Why would you
will.
put it? Oh,
Well, I put
Yeah,
it in the
it is.
main chat so that the people who wanted to look at it could, because they were
Oh,
asking me what
okay.
pussy rap was.
well, we're gonna show it. I thought. Okay, here we go.
We better show only one.
Oh
Well, if
Lord.
we're only gonna play one, Let's do Gripper by Flo Milli.
The whole thing is only 30 seconds, though. Oh, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. This is what I'm playing.
Sexy.
Hey, yeah, hey,
No, that's not the one.
Flo Milli shit.
So what am I? Where's?
Well,
How do I know where to play
I
it?
wasn't talking about this song at all, so that's all I was saying.
But this is the link you put in the chat.
Yes, it's a playlist. There's multiple
So
songs.
that's what I'm saying. So where on the playlist would you like me to play?
I said that, but you wasn't listening to me. Go out of full screen and then click on the song that says Gripper. You got to scroll down on the side over there. No. Go up.
Yeah, we're gonna get our stream pulled
Right
because of
there.
Amber. You know these record companies don't want us to be playing this on there, but you know Amber don't care.
I'm gonna show you where to start it is, so you only can catch the important part. Right there, Gripper. Right there.
I don't see the word gripper.
Flo Milli.
Oh, there it is.
Sampling everything.
Am I supposed to play it at a certain moment?
Skip forward like 15 seconds.
Yeah, been slow it down. You fucking me like you hate me. I can't even lie. He know that I want him. He see right through me like HD. Showing me out. He know I'm cold. I feel like this nigga AC. He want a future. Nigga ain't mine. Better go buy me an AP.
I just think that we should all listen to more pussy rap. That's all.
I don't really know. Like he hate me?
Maggie, I don't like Terrence Howard. I don't think he's fine. Well, it's a metaphor, Geechee.
No, I know it's a metaphor, but I mean, just still. No, I don't think we all should listen to that.
They slow down. He fucking me like he hate me. She was, giving a visual. She's telling a story.
Okay.
You gotta listen to the whole song. I don't know what to tell you.
Nah. Kaya, who's this? Kaya and Kim? Yeah. Kim was better. I don't know about Kaya, but Lil Kim.
I like Kaya.
Foxy
I think Kim was
Foxy
better.
Brown. Yeah.
I think Kim was better. I probably would go put in some old songs on there too. Why is Jerry looking like that?
I must be. This is just not my moment. That's all. I don't. The thing. But I think it's also it's also the music. Like I had no problem. I liked a lot of the production that Foxy Brown and Lil Kim got, and
Mia X.
So maybe, but so I just don't like that. I don't know the sound. It's just not for me. It's all good though. It's fine.
I understand. Pussy rap isn't for everybody. I like listening to disgusting music. So I feel like if you can't listen to overly sexualized music as a Black woman, what can you do?
Wait, what?
You ain't seen that clip that's like, if you can't go to Bella Noche, what can you do?
What?
You've never seen that?
No, I'm still catching up to. Can we talk about the political and economic, social, so whatever? What did Jaden say? That meme.
If I can't listen to overly sexualized music by Black women, what can I do? I'm just saying. I would much rather listen to a Black woman talk about how she likes to be pleasured than listen to a man. I ain't gonna hold
you know who?
I'm not mad at that, and I do think it's important. Yeah. And I've even in one or two admittedly more uncomfortable discussions than I once upon a time thought they would be, have encouraged that for my children. I want, like, you should be able to explain to who your partner is what's what, and don't ever feel like you need to be constantly sacrificing your interests.
Yeah, I would never. I could never. And honestly, I got a good story now.
I just wish, can we just get her a DJ Premier beat? Like, can I hear that over like some boom bap?
I'm with David.
That song doesn't have a video yet, and I don't think the sample was all the way cleared or something. She's been performing it, but she's only performing like a minute of it. So I don't know if she's just waiting to do a bigger release or what. But she performed. I've seen her perform a full minute of that song. I haven't seen her perform the whole thing. She did it like at a live event, and she did it at the concert that I went to a few weeks ago that I told y'all I was going to. She performed on Saturday, and she did it, but she only did a minute. So I think that's why it sounds weird, because she's not doing the full song. But speaking of knowing what you want and men not being able to handle it, it's a great story. So remember I told y'all about that nigga.
Wait! Don't go there yet. I want you to respond to Josh first, please. Sorry.
What they say?
Josh, the music video is the better part of Gripper creatively. And yes, Amber, but that's the entire appeal of pussy rap. Women rapping like men, just flipping the patriarchal tropes. You agree?
Yes, I agree. And I think that the video, I couldn't find the video for it, but I do like the video she made on like Instagram with it, but I couldn't find the official video. I do agree though. I think that to me it's more empowering, because I don't want to hear men talk about all the disgusting shit they gonna do. One, because in my head, I'm thinking how the woman isn't getting any pleasure from that. So that's not even like hyping me up. I'm unenthused completely. Two, I like hearing women be like very bold and like talk about what they want, because I also feel like it encourages other women to be bold and ask for what they want, because a motherfucker ain't finna play with me. We're not just here just for you. It's a two-way street. And honestly, you really need to make me reach the heights multiple times before I even do anything for you, because I deserve everything and you deserve nothing. And that's why I like pussy rap.
Okay.
I just think it's important that we empower young women.
Yeah, but I don't know if that. Sure. Okay. Never mind.
To go for their pleasure. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, go for the pleasure, but I don't think disempowering somebody is a form of empowerment. But I agree. Yes.
I mean, not to you, but it is to me, especially when it happens to white men. Ooh.
Wait, what?
I love seeing white men be disempowered. Like, you know.
Who's disempowered?
I don't know, man. I'm
a white
confused.
man with a collar on and a leash being walked through a HBCU homecoming.
Would I want to see that?
Yeah, I just hope we that analysis ain't leading people to what Kamal suggests or
what Kamal suggests.
Well, not suggests, but Kamal is saying that the line of thinking kind of leads to pussy rap equals liberation, and that I hope that's not what people are.
Oh no.
Well, I mean that's how it's almost sounding. So we want to make sure we clear the air.
I am specifically talking about sexual liberation and like liberation for women, not black liberation for the people. I'm not talking about that wrong. No. I just think that
if it's sexual liberation without actual liberation, though.
I mean, I'm talking about sex, though. I'm not talking about black liberation. I think that it's a separate thing.
That's what I'm saying. But I wonder if maybe we should move on. But I don't know if you would call it.
I think I see your point, but I think people can express themselves. I think
like liberation on the end of it. I mean, I think there's a thing that a point that you're making that is very important.
Well, I never said liberation,
but I wonder.
I was saying sexual empowerment.
Okay, you said sexual liberation, but
I said that just now when you were saying something about black liberation.
I think so. I think you can have good sex under capitalism.
Kamal, are you having good sex under capitalism?
Decent. Yes, you can. You should be able to. But
exactly. He's talking about.
I think you can have good sex under all kinds of horrible circumstances. That don't comment on this.
Walking Dead was fucking. So,
but I'm just saying, just like we talked about earlier with how branding and happened, how miscommunication, and whenever you put liberation on the end of it, it's kind of like now we talk about something else.
Yeah, which is why I didn't say that. I said that after you brought it up, but I definitely think I'm more so thinking of like empowerment in the way of I want to feel empowered in sexual experiences so that I don't fall for no okie doke or let some nigga just use me like a sex toy, because that's what these motherfuckers be out here doing. Not me, but other people. And I feel like people don't like explain that to their children, especially their daughters, so they look for actual pleasure in sexual experiences, not just trying to fuck to have a baby or so a nigga can get his nut off. Like, I don't like that. And I feel like that's why so many women are so dissatisfied, because they don't even know what actual like orgasms feel like, because they are having horrible sex. And that's why I like pussy rap, because they explain to people how you don't have to have these, you have to be married to some nigga and be locked down and have all these like crazy things you're doing for him. Like you have to serve somebody just to enjoy good sex. Because they'll have you think you got to be a housewife with 2 kids making this nigga 3 meals a day just to
Yeah.
earn an
Yeah.
orgasm. I think that's insane.
Yes, you live in a culture where men are trained to use women's bodies to masturbate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is also why, Jerry, you should tell your children to watch ethical pornography and not just random shit they find.
I don't know if I'm going that far. I don't think we're there.
What are you
But
talking
I have just encouraged that
My bad.
they feel comfortable learning what learning what they want and being only engaged in relationships where they feel comfortable conveying that with their consensual partner. And if you're not comfortable conveying it, then it's probably not a situation that you need to be in. And that's really the extent of the conversations so far that you know, in terms, I have not gone as far as to encourage. I'm not that advanced.
Tell your wife to tell them.
Oh, she's definitely not going to do that. She's definitely not going to do that. You're talking to the wrong one for that. But it's just so maybe not in terms of the content and the style of the delivery, but in terms of the overall concept that you're conveying, that women have more control over their bodies, their enjoyment, their pleasure. I have no problem with that. I have, you know,
I'm not laughing.
I also agree with Geechee. No, I know that you couldn't be. I already know that. And I do, but I do agree with Geechee because I've always had this problem going back to my day, where I thought people were doing too much by saying Lil' Kim is representing some liberation of women. Now it's like calm down with all that, because we're still in the context. Somebody asked about my hip hop analysis with this form of rap. And I'm saying this simply, it's very simple. If you just took all the artists from Amber's playlist and looked at Wikipedia or something, what labels are they under? Who owns those labels? And I'm almost
most of them aren't under labels because people hate dark skinned rappers.
I don't know. First of all, I almost don't believe that. But
Millie is not signed. Mana Leo just got signed
I'll look
2 weeks ago, and she's been making music for 6+ years. Ken the Man is not signed. Megan Thee Stallion is the only person on that playlist that's kind of signed, and she's not fully signed because her music is still independent. They do not be signing black.
Independent is a very I'm not disagreeing with that, but when I just
labels.
But again, I just quickly look at Flo Milli, she's under RCA. So I
said Ken the Man is not signed.
So an RCA is a Sony product. So as I was going to say, I'm almost certain my point is all of these rappers are going to end up under one of the 3 big labels.
Mana Leo just signed with Sony.
Megan is signed.
That's my point.
She had a management deal, but still owns her own music.
And then when people say independent,
it's you own it.
Go ahead, independent.
You're not saying nothing. Does she own the masters or not?
Well, he's finishing independent, so that's going to probably help answer that question.
Go ahead, Jared.
The long story short is what people often think is independent is not, and they may have their own label to which they're signed, but then to be distributed, to be recorded, to be platformed, to be put on Spotify, you make another deal with one of these 3 corporations, and then those 3 corporations make a deal with one of the 3 major streaming platforms. It becomes this very incestuous mechanism of managing what forms of the art become popular. So that's why I'm saying, even with this concept, within this concept of women having empowerment over and control over and all of this, there are, I'm sure, many other dark-skinned women performers who would have much more, if not just simply equivalent talent, who have a way of presenting a positive, mature engagement with sex and sexuality that would not be suitable to that corporate structure. And that's the point I'm getting at. So all of these unconscious desires we have for revolution, sexual freedom, whatever, they're being rebranded and managed by a colonial order that manifests in these corporate arrangements. That's
yeah. Also, Megan had a small window when she was in between labels, where they call her independent, that little small moment. But she also has this really weird distribution deal with Warner Music Group. So there's really
she has a
independent thing ain't really
she still owns the masters. her song.
All right.
Honestly, I don't know if that's what that means. And I honestly don't know
From
if
what
that's
I
what that
read,
means.
independent means that they just own their masters. But I mean, I don't fucking know. I'm not in the music industry.
No, that's not an automatic. You know, so you know, I did this, you know, we didn't agree on everything, you know, and I don't know that her politics are where you know a lot of ours are, but when I did that interview a couple months ago with Wendy Day, who's still doing this her work around the Rap Coalition and contracts and stuff. There's all kinds of, I would encourage people to check out her channel and the interviews she does with some people in this world. The management deals that people think that they're, I mean, it's a mess out here, and people are getting got all over the place. And now you have these, you know, and then this thing, that's the whole point with the Live Nation thing, with these 360 deals, these contracts are all encompassing. So you can't go nowhere and perform. You can't just do a pop-up. You can't just do an appearance on someone else's track. All of this is very manicured. And what it ultimately, my point is it allows for those in power to manage what becomes popular. So even when we like it, even if it's speaking to a certain politic, it's often doing it in a way that appeases this structure that isn't really that limits the positive impact, I think, that it would have on any of these topics and specific discussions. So
that makes sense.
I think
that makes sense.
Musa's point was clear. It said they use artists like Meg to try to redefine independence.
Exactly.
With distro plus management from two of the biggest music groups in the world. Warner ain't no small shit. So
yeah, no, they're huge conglomerate, if you will.
It's
but
usually
also,
like what I think
I
of.
was talking about that. I didn't know that she had signed with someone else, because I mean that was just last year. So I was talking about the period when she had left the previous management. I didn't know she got with someone else. I don't pay attention like that. I'm just listening to the music. So that makes more sense now, because I know that her. But I also will say, I do feel like when she was in between that period, there was this album she put out called Something for the Hotties, for like, because she wasn't able to release some of the other stuff at the time. So she released some other stuff she had never put out. And it was some of the best stuff, but it didn't really get any promo like that because she wasn't signed to anybody. So then I really didn't see like info about it. So I was on Twitter one time and she posted about it. And then after she got that, I guess the Warner Brother deal or whatever, she put out another album and a single, and I feel like that one got a lot of promo. Also, I thought Joshua did a really good analysis about what we were talking about in the comments, and she does look great in that Gripper video. Someone also asked me earlier if I went to go see that movie in 70mm. I did not go because the flights were $400, and I have to be responsible, and I owe some taxes. So I've made my automatic payment to the IRS instead of going to New Orleans. It was sad, but I have to be an adult. So yeah.
Speaking of New Orleans, and now that I'm older now, but so I remember Bootsy used to sell out the New Orleans stadium prior to becoming popular. And I never really looked into like if that was a moment of independence when he was able to sell, like he used to come to Charleston to sell out stuff, but also in New Orleans because he had family there. But like making it to being Bootsy now, he had to be signed and had to be distribution deal. So I don't know. I haven't gone back, but I wonder what was his situation like when those few years he was able to sell out in his home state and make decent money, I'd assume. But that's probably like the closest thing to like.
How did he even get the venue though? That's my question at this point.
Well, I mean, he was rocking in Louisiana for a minute, and
what venues though? Like, because I'm just curious because I even just watched a video on this from the perspective of venue owners, like small bars, and this was in the context of the rock and roll community, and they were saying Live Nation and them are killing, like their whole industry is destroyed. Like they can't even book any semi-known artists to come play at these local spots anymore because they will ruin their relationship with Live Nation and their bigger, venues and all that other kind of stuff. So I was just curious.
It was the New Orleans, the Saints Stadium, but I think IG kind of probably answered my question. Unsigned independent for an artist of young artists just means pre-corporate careers. So maybe a couple times performing at the Dome.
But how did he get in the Dome though? That's what I'm at. Like, how did that even get arranged is what I'm curious about. How would you even get the venue?
Well, wait. If the city owns the stadium, doesn't that?
I don't know.
Yeah, if the
I
city
don't know.
owns the stadium,
That's why. Yeah.
if the city owns a stadium and the residents want that artist, then I guess
That's how it works. So people just say we want them there, and they get booked.
Well, if a radio station or whoever is bringing an annual music event, and this is the hottest person in the state, he's the hottest person in the state. Like, you ain't gonna have a choice.
Got you.
But but once you get there, though, that's how you're gonna get signed, though.
So, like, we live down the street, not far from, down the street from Merriweather Post Pavilion, which here in Columbia, Maryland, which gets a lot of good big time.
You know exactly where you live. Shit, keep going.
It's not terribly revealing and or difficult.
I do look great when I smile with the cowboy hat, though. Whoever told me to smile with the hat on, y'all was right. I see the vision.
So, and my point in that, though, is that there are a lot of artists that come through here that I've never heard of that aren't super celebrities, but are on this sort of secondary tier where you can get gigs and have some kind of a career, but you're not operating at the level of
you're not A-list,
celebrity.
You're like C-list, right? And they still be selling out them venues, because when I was in the DMV, I went to a spot in Prince George County in Maryland that this artist had sold out that I liked. And there's this artist that's really popular on TikTok right now, Alex Warren, who's on tour, and he's selling out like those smaller, like House of Blues type of venues and other places. He's not like an A-list celebrity. He literally just got a few viral songs on TikTok, but he's selling out these like smaller, not lounges, but like one step up from that. He's selling out.
And what's his name? Who is this?
His name is Alex Warren. He's really good. He makes very beautiful love songs. I love him a lot. Because I don't just listen to pussy rap, you guys. I'm actually multifaceted. And someone in the chat said that all they know, it was Rao, they said all they know is Japanese music. Have you listened to that Apata Petit song, the APT song with Bruno Mars? Because I really like that song.
And can I just say quickly, Alex Warren has an Atlantic Records contract, which is a subsidiary of Warner Music Group. Yeah,
I'm surprised because he's not popular enough.
But I don't agree. So, like a couple years ago, we had.
I'm saying if he got a contract, they not boosting him up enough. He should be selling out larger venues.
So a couple years ago, when I was in the School of Journalism, they had some guests come from the A&R for Sony Music, I think it was, and basically what they were telling our students was that nowadays the A&R work, the artist and repertoire work, does not happen like it used to, where well-known, people who know the music scene go out and find out. No. Nowadays it's through what are your TikTok numbers, what are your Instagram numbers, and then the record labels mine those. And then so if they see you blowing up on TikTok, they will reach out and offer you some sort of deal that ultimately just allows them to control what will actually pop off. So the other way that this ultimately works, though, that is very, I think, much more difficult to convey, is that by managing what becomes popular and successful, they manage and determine often what other people try to emulate, which is like a secondary way of manipulating the art form and the work of people who are young and unwitting and just want.
And that's why all the songs be sounding alike.
Yeah. So
and that's why I be on SoundCloud, because although I listen to those artists too with the popular TikTok songs, the SoundCloud artists have better songs. And I think Doechii made a great she had some really good lyrics about that, because she was like, now I'm making TikTok music, what the fuck? She was like, labels want the TikTok now I'm making TikTok music, what the fuck? Because she's talking about how her Persuasive song went like super viral. But that's not the only kind of music she makes. Like, she's very like versatile in the rap.
I saw her Tiny Desk joint. Her band is hype
in the rap and the pop. I think she switches throughout them, but she doesn't perform any of the pop songs anymore, because she was like, they're basically TikTok songs. And they were good songs, but that wasn't the only thing she wanted to do. And I do see people getting stuck in their rut sometimes, especially if you became famous off of TikTok. Like, if you aren't like the Alex Warren, I think the only reason why Alex Warren won't become like that is because he's been on YouTube for several years. Him and his wife met when they were like 18. Both his parents died. He moved to Hawaii to like live with her or something. They like developed this relationship, and they've been making YouTube videos for a very long time. So he's gonna always be popular because people know him from YouTube. But other people who are only popular from one song on TikTok, they're gonna struggle. Meanwhile, he got like a whole other album and a new album coming out. Like, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I want to shout out Praying for Patience, who named one of the better artists in the world, Rashawn Patterson. Y'all ever heard Rashawn Patterson?
I have, actually.
Rashawn is a monster. If you never heard of Rashawn Patterson, go to YouTube, look at his live performance of Spend the Night, and then thank me later.
I just want to say, A-Rob is right. Y'all don't get my jokes because you're old. And we really should work on that.
Okay, that's fine. Zenzi, I think you owe me an apology, though. I think you went too far with that Terrence Howard joint, and I think you hurt my feelings, and I would like you to acknowledge that I am hurt. Used to be when I was young and immature, I would say I'm angry at what you said, but now I'm grown. I can say you hurt my feelings. I am hurt.
The impact was felt. It was heavy.
The impact was felt. The Terrence Howard son, he is off his rocker.
He actually is acting a fucking fool right now.
and you know, I would have been more sympathetic to thank you for at least pondering that, Zanzibar, because my feelings are hurt. I was tempted to give him some room because people were raising, you know, maybe this is some sort of crisis he's going through and this other kind of stuff. And I was starting to almost feel a little bit sorry for him. But then I saw Professor Dave explain and show that Terrence is on the back end of this stuff, grifting with courses. He's doing the financial literacy EYL thing where you can sign up for courses to learn from him. And that's where I'm like, nah, man. Now you've gone full grifter with this nonsense. And if what you're saying is true about what you've invented, he should be able to just fly into the rooms of these interviews using the energy from his own. I don't even understand what he's saying.
I think the one thing I learned today is that Elon is right. Y'all don't be picking up on the references and explaining it to you is not helping. And you really need to get on
thank you, Zanzibar. That's close enough. That's close enough. That his hating ass characters. Yeah, I'm a hater. I am a hater, and I'm proud of it. But please don't connect me to the insanity and the grift.
I'm gonna try to get on your Zooms though. We'll be having some practice throughout the week. I'll be sending some scheduled Zoom calls because you need to get your references together. This is insane. How is the Amber Show gonna be successful if you motherfuckers don't know what I'm talking about?
All right, yes, thank you. Get us on point. We need some.
I do notice that Jared is kind of adopting some of my characteristics by interrupting me while I'm speaking. I see what you're doing there, Jared. I'm gonna get on my Amber. I see what you're doing, which we're adopting the wrong habits. I need you to understand the references. Gosh, y'all see how hard it is raising people? Literally raising men over here.
We being mothered by Amber, guys.
Oh my goodness.
She's speaking to our inner childs.
You're welcome.
Turns in them.
Right, Cynical. He should be able to fart his way into the room.
That's insane.
He said something about the energy of our own core or something like that. Anyway. All right. I'm glad. See, good communication. We could clear these things up.
I mean, we have great communication. They just don't understand what we're talking about.
Who's our target audience, Amber? Since this new show, Amber, they said Amber Show.
The Amber Show.
I just feel like sometimes, you have to show people something they ain't never seen before, and they won't get it in the moment. But eventually, in the middle of the night, they'll wake up out of their sleep and be like, "Amber was right."
That
Gripper song is a hit.
I don't think so, but that's.
Money, he's definitely trying to be like me. It's crazy. Like, I really have inspired even people older than me to be like Amber.
Go get a cowboy hat.
But can we show the plantation burning video?
Sure.
Okay, because y'all said we don't talk about no news, and I saw some great news on TikTok.
You and Ricky can do a show about the coochie rap songs.
Because Ricky has a great taste. Okay,
you can break it down.
When the glory
Oh,
comes,
don't start with John Legend.
be out. It'll be out.
Oh, man.
Oh, one day.
That's why they showed the white people crying first, because it's a plantation in Louisiana called Nottoway Resort, because they turned a plantation into a resort, and they've been going there for retreats and weddings, and that motherfucker burnt down yesterday.
Now, so what happened with that fire? Because I did see that. Was it like
Was it
I don't
was it
know how it
arson?
happened.
they said
I
the
don't know how it
ancestors
happened.
did it, but
I think the ancestors did it. They said, you know what? They done put out sinners. It's our time. Time to run it up.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh my god.
Yo, don't do that. Because I got a crew that trying to take me to go see Sinners again tonight, and I'm like, man.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think it should. I don't think we should take it lightly that the only place in the South that's showing sinners on 70 mm is in New Orleans, and that plantation burnt up in Louisiana. Not too far.
Boosie did it. Shout out
Not
to Boosie. Burned down the stage. Good out. Shout out Boosie.
I mean, it happens.
Featuring Webby.
But it was
All
a
right.
video that some other girl posted. I found it, but I couldn't find the link after I saw it. I scrolled like too quickly. But she was like, I had so many memories here. I've had such beautiful times here, and now it's all burned and it's gone. And she's showing like videos of when she used to visit there. And the people in the comments is like, you dumb bitch. That's a plantation. They was going off on her. They was like, why are you so happy about a house that slaves built? What's wrong with you? Like, they were going in on her. And she just oblivious, dumb and white and racist. I said, I can't stand y'all. And now the plantation no more. Love that for us.
Nah, Boosie and Webby back. Boosie and Webby back together.
Is that a win for Black liberation? Since y'all was talking about earlier.
Nah, there ain't no win. Until somebody be able to pull out this sky full of elephants in reality, we don't burn down the house. Go take over the house because it's vacant. I'm joking. Allegedly.
Wait, somebody put this comment on the thing, Jared. O.L. Griffin. He said Amber's stage name Contessa Broward 3-Up-1. What is that?
I don't even see the
I don't even know what that means.
comment.
I agree, Ricky. Bring back pussy rap because we deserve. Actually, A-Rob, I just want y'all to know right now so that we can start working on this goal for me. My life goal at this current moment is to walk down the Spirit Tunnel on Jennifer Hudson's show and do a cute little interview. I don't really want to talk to her for real.
I think they need to stop that. I don't like that.
I want them to make a song for me.
I don't really get it, and I don't like it.
I get it, and it wasn't meant for you, Geechee.
It's
That's not what
whack.
matters.
I don't even watch the show, but I be
Man,
seeing it on the viral video.
I love that little Spirit Tunnel. I said, I know that's right, Niecy Nash. They said, oh. I said, okay.
I think that's whack. Actually, I haven't even seen a good
so
one.
much joy, Geechee. Damn. Can
I'm
I be
sorry.
happy?
I have not seen a good tunnel. Whatever they're doing, like whoever
All
thought
of
of
them
that.
be good. All of them are good. Where's your
No, they
creative
not.
juices?
No, they not.
You telling me you didn't see Aaron P?
Yeah, that's Mufasa. That's whack. That was whack.
Yeah, that's Mufasa.
Can I do one story from the run sheet real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Since you've been researching for 15 minutes over there, not saying nothing, so you can get your points across. I saw you. You was trying to prepare. You're not gonna
That's
outdo
what
me.
it's called, the Spirit Tunnel. We got spirit. Yeah, we got spirit. Okay. No, Drewski one was good. I would.
The Drewski one was good. Let me go find some Spirit Tunnels to watch.
Good.
I just wanted to acknowledge this story real quick because I saw one of the videos from Status Quo that's covering this very closely. United Healthcare Group CEO steps down as company lowers, then withdraws financial outlook for 2025. Andrew Whitty stepped down the other day for personal reasons, and the nation's largest healthcare insurer suspended his full-year financial outlook due to higher than expected medical costs.
I saw a thing about them also getting a federal investigation for Medicare fraud. Did you see that?
United Healthcare? I did not see that.
Yeah, I
Is that
actually
who
thought
you-
that's what we were going to talk about, but they've been having issues with CEO stuff for a minute. It's been some stuff going on, but I also saw yesterday they got a Department of Justice investigation into Medicare fraud.
Wow. All right. That's interesting. I wonder how that's going to go. That seems odd. And I wonder what Trump's administration. So that means Pam Bondi is prosecuting them. Is that what I understand? Do I understand that correctly? Anyway, Hemsley, who's the new CEO, will remain chairman of the company's board. It has been a
He's gonna be the
punishing.
chairman of the board, but he's not CEO anymore.
Hemsley was so Stephen Hemsley will become CEO effective immediately with Whitty stepping down, and he was I guess
CEO, but
he
now
will
he's
remain chairman of the board as well. It has been a punishing period for United Healthcare starting in December when executive Brian Thompson was targeted outside of a New York City hotel and killed. While unrelated to the financial operations of the $340 billion healthcare giant, its shares have tumbled severely since the attack. Why are they assuming that it's unrelated? I am deeply disappointed and apologize for the performance. Many of the issues standing in the way of achieving our goals, as well as opportunities largely within our control. I'm optimistic about our future and these issues within our capacity to resolve. We will approach with humility, rigor, and urgency.
You niggas finna go to jail.
United Health became one of the nation's largest companies under Whitty's leadership, totaling total revenue topped $400 billion last year, a 55% increase from the $250 billion that he bought it for the year before, or that it was brought in the year before when he was CEO. Before he became CEO, shares of United Healthcare rocketed higher under Whitty to up to 60.5% since he took the company to its top job. Yet there have been several setbacks for United Healthcare over the past 5 months as it wrestles with the national attention on Luigi Mangione, who was indicted last month on the federal charge of killing Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
So shares of United Health have plummeted 38% since the deadly December 4th ambush of Thompson in Midtown Manhattan and fell more than 16% to levels last seen almost 5 years ago. They have 50 million people under their books and are the largest provider of Medicare Advantage plans, which you are now saying they are going to.
They're under federal investigation for it. I wish I had pulled up the story when you were talking just now.
Just
but
a quick look right now.
I was distracted by the plantation comments.
Yeah, the United States.
Find John's comment, but he's talking about the plantation in the comments. I thought was
just. The United States Department of Justice is investigating United Health for potential Medicare fraud, according to a Wall Street Journal report. The investigation, which involves a criminal probe, is separate from an ongoing antitrust inquiry also underway by the DOJ. The investigation focuses on potential fraudulent billing practices, particularly regarding Medicare Advantage plans, which they, as we just showed, are the nation's largest holder of. So that does mean that Trump's Pam Bondi is going to be leading this, right? Which seems antithetical to everything that they're about. So I wonder,
they're some fucking liars.
They're going to be looking to break up the monopoly that on top of it.
And the antitrust investigation happened before he was president. I do know that was last year, but that was last year. That antitrust investigation came out like a month after the guy killed the CEO person, allegedly.
Is this story gonna undo people's love for Obama passing Obamacare? Because it's proven what actually happened with all this Obama.
I don't think so.
Undo the work for Obamacare shit.
Well, not undo, but I'm saying undoes people's delusion that what he did
because
good.
What he did was enact a very old right-wing Republican plan to lock in privatized insurance. But I don't think they will put the two to get two and two because everything that he did.
Y'all feel so bad about the Affordable Care Act. So you don't like the Affordable Care Act because of how
private insurance a thing. No, the Affordable Care Act was a rebranding of an old right-wing conservative plan that was always meant to block us from getting universal health care.
Romney Care.
And it was promoted to us as a stepping stone, and it was never meant to be that. And Obama, one of the first things he did, I always remember this, he got rid of Tom Daschle, who was one of the last remaining Democrats talking anything about universal health care. And Obama just, he ran a hustle. So he gave something that,
I'm gonna tell you
that
something. One thing about that
private
nigga, he was
insurance
a
companies.
hustler. He was doing them backroom deals.
He, and that's what we should be saying, Geechee. Obama created Brian Thompson.
Ooh.
Obama got that man clipped.
That shit crazy.
So,
I don't think that the ACH blocks us from getting universal health care. I think that we was never getting that shit anyways. For one, Obama wasn't gonna give it to us. But I also do see, maybe it's because I interact with a lot of people who are uninsured, but I do see the benefits of the Affordable Care Act because I did not have health insurance before I turned 26. I was going to lose my health insurance because my mom, I was on her insurance. It was private insurance. I only had health care because of the ACH, and I have pre-existing conditions. I was born with a neurological condition, so I have to take medicine and I have to take a shot every month. And without that health care, I was going to be paying almost $1,500 for a shot every month as a just recently graduated, like with a baby bachelor's working at a fucking call center. Like I could not afford that. So I do understand people's pushback because they want a universal health care. But I also am going to always be of the opinion that unless you have like a serious health condition, you don't understand the need for something when you don't have anything. Because I had nothing.
but to me, that's the opposite. The case you described for yourself is the examples people will point to defend the healthcare, the ACA. But what they leave out is that overwhelmingly most people who are insured under the ACA don't have enough insurance that would cover them if they did have something serious happen to them, and they would still be
either because I had plenty. Again, and maybe it's because my mom helped me do it because I didn't understand the insurance and stuff at all.
But this is what I'm saying, Amber, is happening. But Amber, you're demonstrating what my argument is. My argument is that people will point to an anecdotal personal experience and miss what is happening to a majority of the people. People are still overwhelmingly underinsured, outside of insurance, can't afford insurance, and if they get a major injury or illness, are not covered under the ACA. More importantly, it's not that the ACA in some material sense blocks us from universal health care. I'm saying it immaterially blocks us because people spend so much time defending the ACA and what little we do get that they don't fight for the actual the universal health care that we should have. And then we end up in a situation where the Brian Thompsons are still here, where the healthcare industry is still as it is, and most people who really need help don't get the help that they need. So that's
I don't fully agree. I don't fully disagree.
Okay.
I do think that people should be still fighting for universal healthcare, and I don't feel like they are as much as they were before. But I also feel like that something is better than nothing, and there's somebody who's helped their friends get on the ACA because they had nothing, because they had serious conditions that they could not like treat. I'm like, I mean, I would rather you have something to at least get this medical condition checked out than nothing, and then you just fucking die. Because I've also seen that happen to people too. Like my friends who have had parents who just dropped dead because they had stage 4 cancer, but didn't know because they didn't have any health insurance. So I get the story for both.
So, but the anecdote is also the same. But I could do, again, I've shared this already. I could say the same thing. The doctor told me to prepare for my mother's death because there's not enough, she doesn't have insurance. This is just a couple years ago. So Obama's thing didn't help. Obama's ACA was not the absence of universal health care.
And I think that,
my point is, my point though,
credit around that. I think that people kind of levy it. What's the word? I feel like people don't make the ACA the lifesaver that I feel like Obama does. I feel like people think that it's a good option for folks who don't have insurance, but they aren't talking about it like Obama does. Obama talks about it like it's the biggest thing he's ever done because it was the only shit he ever did. But I don't think it was the biggest thing.
But I guess I'm
I
trying
just
to
want to
figure
make
out.
the point. I just want to
Go
say
ahead.
again that the point I think we have to stop doing, myself included, is focusing on these anecdotal personal experiences and look at the actual impact it's having on the
Shout,
masses of people.
shout out to Ricky. Lived experiences can be analysis. That's her book. But really quick, I think it sounds almost like, you know, capitalism is helping some people a little bit, and really
Is
like
capitalism helping some people?
that's what it sounds like you saying in terms of allowing corporations to control healthcare industry
Well, that's
in the
not what I
US.
said.
Well, I mean, that's the
I didn't
argument.
say I believe we should allow corporations to manage healthcare. I said that I was able to get health insurance with the ACA, and so
Right.
that's why I appreciate it. But I know lots of people who don't have health insurance and didn't want to pay for the ACA, so they still don't have it, and that's fine. And I don't believe that we should stop fighting for universal healthcare just because we have the ACA. And I find that a lot of people have, but that's not me. And I also don't. This is the first time I even told anybody about having health insurance. By the way, I only told y'all because I fuck with y'all. I don't go out telling my personal story about how the ACA saved my life and how, you know, I would be nothing without. I don't do that because I don't believe that. I think that I needed health insurance because I wasn't gonna fucking die, and I took it. But
in the same way that I wouldn't say I support the military because I benefit with veterans health care. That's the point. I do actually benefit from veterans healthcare. In fact, that was the point I was trying to make with my mother. Like, I'm over-insured. I'm fully insured through my job. I have veterans coverage. I have, you know, and yet I couldn't spread any of that around when they said my mother's going to die because she's underinsured. You know, so instead of saying the military is great because I have insurance and the ACA is bad simply because my mother wouldn't be covered, I think it's better that we, to your point about, is this book out, Ricky's book, or is it forthcoming?
No, that was
or is this just her general
that was
argument?
me commissioning her to write
okay.
that book.
So that is the point, that we have to all stop doing that and look at what the actual impact is on the collective, because then I could be tricked into saying, and tricking other people into saying, yeah, man, the Navy's great and everything the Navy does is great because I have all the insurance I will ever need, because I participated in bombing Iraqi children.
Yeah, I don't think that's the point that I was making. I think that the point I was
it's making, not. I know that you're not making that. I'm saying that's the point, even unconsciously, people take and are meant to take.
But I mean,
but on the flip side, Amber, too,
talking about it, and I don't talk about that shit with people.
But I think the other side. So that's not the point you was making, but your response wasn't the point that Jab was making either. In terms of like, it didn't help anybody. Because I think sometimes when the critique come out, people just be like, "Well, no, I know it helped me," and like, yeah, or there's no immediate alternative, which I think Monty said. But yeah, like you would have to build. There might be that's not popular. There might be a alternative that's not popular that has to become popular. But while there's no alternative, we understand that people benefit from something, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the shit is not good and it's not sustainable and it's actually killing more people than it's helping. So like,
I don't think the system is sustainable because, I mean, we should have universal healthcare in general. But I guess what I was saying was, I don't think that you're saying that we shouldn't have it at all because we don't have universal healthcare. And what I'm saying is, I understand having an option until you get what you want. Because I feel like the same argument could be made about abolition. People complain all the time. They're like, well, we're not real abolitionists, or you're not actually achieving anything. But that's not how you achieve abolition. You achieve abolition by making steps towards it, which people are doing. But I also think that the issue with the universal healthcare thing and the ACA is that no one's making any steps towards universal healthcare. No one's working on it because niggas become complacent. And I don't think
no one. It's just it hasn't just made it to. I wouldn't say no one. Right?
I would say the decision makers who could actually make it happen aren't doing it. There are other people who are still talking about it and organizing around it, and it's a popular talking point. But even those people who have it as a popular talking point still ain't doing shit.
Guess we got to go into party formation.
I don't think that. I think the niggas need to get on the same page, and they not. And the last thing I'm gonna do is have a fucking migraine while y'all figure that shit out. I'm gonna go take that fucking shot on the ACA if I got to. Hell, I ain't got time for this. I mean, my point still stands that some niggas needed the ACA and some people don't. But now I got private insurance, so I don't have it anymore. And I still say that we should have universal health care, even though I have private insurance. I remember the reason why I got a real job and stopped doing contract work is because I was on the ACA. And when you make more money, you owe more. Like you don't get as many little breaks or whatever. And I didn't want to pay that much money. So I went and got a regular job. So I definitely understand that it's not for everybody because I say, I'm not going to make that payment. I liked it during the pandemic when it was $0 and I was like getting new glasses every year and going to get contacts at the same time and going to all these doctor's visits and not having to pay shit. I was loving that. The moment they said I had to pay something, I actually dipped out. So I definitely understand. I still think we should have universal health care. But at the moment, I needed some kind of insurance. And so I took that shit.
I think we should clip this part of the conversation and maybe prove that while non-reformist reform is a strategy that folks should grapple with a little bit.
What's non-reformist reform?
As you say, the ACA is beneficial. It's a concession that people can benefit from, but it's definitely not the aim goal. So people still organize for the actual goal as opposed to banking on the concession.
Yeah, but I don't feel like people are organizing for it in a way that's realistic right now. I think that I see a lot of orgs organizing around it and a lot of communities, but like none of that is moving any of the people who could actually make it happen. So that's always my wonder is always like, what does the campaign plan look like? Or what does the strategy look like? Because I don't see it being, to me, it's not being pushed hard enough like this other shit. Like, where's the Green New Deal level of organizing? Y'all was going real hard for that Green New Deal shit.
But that's the point, though. I just said like it's gonna take an actual electoral strategy to actually get those things in the main idea. And obviously it will get co-opted. It could get co-opted, but I think that has to happen. There has to be a serious contest for governance and power.
I always think it's interesting how men hear a totally different argument from women. Because Monty and Rao, I agree with you. I don't know what the fuck they were saying either. But
why only men and women? What about the other folks out there?
I think non-binary folks are kind of leaning towards the women's side.
This is I don't even know how to describe it. Anyway, so Monty said what they were making a whole scene about the Green New Deal.
Yeah. I think somebody on here too, I don't know who IG is, but they said the last two disagreements have been Amber making an observation and an analysis being projected on it. And I agree. I'm really just saying things, and I think that y'all be thinking so deeply into stuff. Like, y'all don't believe in Fun Fridays. Y'all done had that in elementary school. Because goddamn.
Fun Fridays. I mean, you can have fun having analysis too, right? No? I disagree. So Jared is running the board. So because somebody love, huh?
What does running the board mean?
The board, all the gadgets and the buttons.
First of all, there is no fun without an analysis, and I will never be backed up by saying I projected an analysis onto somebody's anything. Like, don't ever tell me to be under analytical. Y'all need to overanalyze. Catch up.
You thinking too much.
You thinking too much.
Hey, listen.
And I know I keep getting called petty, but the chat is way worse than me. And the so I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave that there.
You remember that video I sent you of one of our brothers was trying to tease us, and they started their own little show, and they said, I don't even rock with them dudes over there because all they want to do is think.
Yeah, I do. And I'm like, yeah, that's
Wait, what?
Again, they were trying to hate on us on some other show, and they were and the way of hating on us was saying all they do is think. All they over there is doing is thinking. They just be thinking. And it's like, all right, yeah. It's all right, yeah.
I think that people should be able to explain their experience with something and it not be seen as defense, but be seen as them explaining their experience with it. And also still talk about what they would want, because I'm not defending the ACA. I'm explaining my experience with it. And I still think we should have universal health care, because I shouldn't have had to get a job that has private insurance is fully paid. I should have been able to just have universal health care. So I don't disagree with the universal health care argument. I just think that I had a personal experience with it, and I had friends who had personal experiences with it. And I know for sure if I had tried to get private insurance or pre-existing conditions, they would have denied me because they did. I got denied regular private insurance. So I had to get on the ACA. And I think it was good for the moment, but I do think we should still be going just as hard for universal health care as we do for like all the other popular white topics that all be going.
And for all the credit people and would want to give Obama for ACA, I just want to remind that he denied us what we should have. So that's all that he actively made sure we do not have universal health care by protecting private insurers. And determining in the end that we have a set of conditions that would lead people to write the book, deny, deflect, defend, or whatever that was. And then for people allegedly, as Mangione is accused of acting out on it, that at the end of the day, even a white boy that comes from money allegedly felt that the healthcare system was so insufficient that he had to take this set of actions. So, and as we were just covering, before that, United Healthcare had no problem making hundreds of billions of dollars in a context created and defended by Obama. That's really all.
Can you talk about
also really quick? I think in the dance, it was the analysis and the critique was made, and then when you brought the lived experience, you were like, oh well, so it sounded like you was doing that in response to the critique. So I think that's kind of where the conversation went.
That was another good point that Chidi Mach is making, that making insurance go through employment is a way of locking us into the private workforce.
I agree.
So that's why there was even some interesting argument. Go ahead.
My bad.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I also think that some jobs have evolved in a way that doesn't feel like I'm locked in. And that was what I wanted. I wanted a job that did not feel like I was locked in, or it gave me enough of a steady income to then branch out to do other things eventually over time. Because I feel like, especially now I think the one thing about the TikTok age and the Instagram age of people becoming like influencers and shit, it's actually really helped us to kind of create job environments that we want. Versus like you work this corporate job, this 9 to 5, you do this shit, you can't do nothing outside of that, and then that's it. Now you got niggas who blowing up on TikTok. So jobs can't act the same exact way, because then they risk losing people. Because I know plenty of people who are lawyers who like blew up on TikTok and they quit their jobs. So their jobs were like, you can't be on social media. And now their jobs fucking suck and don't have what they need. And one girl, she was talking about how they kept calling her back, trying to get her back because they needed her at that firm to help them with the like notoriety and stuff they wanted. So I do think that you can also make something.
Yeah, but when I read data, when I look at the conditions, whenever I read a report about the conditions of the collective of whether it's Black people or the society as a whole, the experiences you're reflecting are not the dominant experience. That is, people able to leave their jobs because they're blowing up on social media, which, by the way, would also require them to buy private insurance on their own if they want to be insured, which is sort of, again, the trick bag that we're in and that Chidi Macha was pointing to, that absent some sort of independent fame and income that you generate, you have to get insurance through a job, or you still have to have enough money on your own to pay for it privately and directly, which is
that's not what I was saying. So I wasn't saying that you have to blow up on TikTok. I was saying that people blowing up on TikTok have changed work culture. I'm not saying that I just have to go blow up on social media,
but they haven't. Would be my point, that the work culture hasn't changed because the collective of the work experience. That's why
it has changed in some places.
But again, that's why I'm saying the
you really work in academia. You're not seeing no change, Jared.
No. Again, but I'm not generating this is the point, Amber. I'm not generating my analysis from my experience in the workplace of my job. I'm generating my analysis from the data of the research of the experiences of the collective. And when you look at the numbers, working people are earning less. They're having less insurance that they need. The wealth of the corporations is increasing. The disparity between the administrators and the workers is increasing. The value of the money that people earn is decreasing. I mean, so that's all I'm saying. Again, from my vantage point, everybody's great. Everybody has jobs. Everybody has full employment and healthcare and an easy work schedule and gets to interact with students and has just a little limited, low level, hostility from the administration, yeah, but that's not where my analysis is coming from. I'm looking at the overall condition, and I don't see, and that's why I keep wanting to point back to the fact that we should never let folks off the hook because we got some minor concession that helps a handful of people when the collective are suffering increasingly. That would be.
And what I'm saying is that in my comment, I didn't say that was people blowing up on TikTok is like the ultimate option. That's what you need to do. I'm not saying that. What I said was when I was looking to start a job, I wanted somewhere where the work culture was better. And I felt like over the last few years, because of the way Instagram and TikTok have influenced how corporations or businesses act, it's made it a little bit easier. I didn't say every job.
But you said you knew all these lawyers who were quitting their law firm and blowing up on TikTok.
Yeah, I know. I know like at least 5 that have.
Right, and all I'm suggesting is
beg to come back.
But all I'm suggesting is that has no impact on the overall set of conditions, and those people would have to themselves go buy private health care. So okay, all right,
I didn't say it did. I think that you're making it a larger argument than it is. You're talking about the data, and I'm talking about what I've seen and experienced and how I feel like
5 out of 100K.
But no, Amber, that's my point though. That is, I think, a very important point that you're making. You're making an argument from personal experience, and I'm trying to make one from data.
And I think and I'm saying that I don't have an experience from data. That's not what my argument or my comments will ever be about.
I would hope that's not the case. First of all, I don't think you're right. I don't even think you mean to say that, because a lot of I've already seen your reporting, and your reporting.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about this conversation we're having. The conversation we're having. I'm not talking about the other stuff I do. I'm talking about this conversation that we're having right now. I'm not using data for that conversation. I'm using things that I've seen and how I feel like. I just think that people are just very pessimistic.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying, Ichi.
This is why it ain't fair. That's not fair, because if you make a comment that yields data, and when somebody asks you for the data or counter the data, it's not pessimism. It's just like whenever you say
I'm not talking about Jared.
But I'm in general.
Let me finish what I was saying. I'm not talking about Jared. I'm talking about society. I think that people are very pessimistic and they are accepting the current conditions that we have instead of being optimistic about what they want. And I just choose not to do that. I just don't want to be like, oh my gosh, we're also poor. Work culture sucks. Like, oh my gosh, it's over. I just choose to be like, I can create the reality I want for myself. We can reach the liberation that I want to see. I can do the things that I want to do, even if there isn't any kind of set rule or policy about it. I just choose to believe things in that way. And so that's why my comments are always going to be very like, I think that we could do something different. I don't think that this is the only option. That's all.
I still think Ricky should write this book. And Josh said drop the link, but
to what?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Well, here's.
Yeah. Everybody read that and then email Ricky and tell her to write the book.
Yeah, write a book
about that right there. Bam. And then again, I think Musa made a great point up there too, because y'all be talking shit and then Instagram be throwing it on your timeline. I don't even know where it's at now. Yeah. Algorithmic bubbles convince us that trends are much bigger than they are. So them algorithms be doing. Wait, didn't somebody write a really book about algorithms that you talked about, Jared? Or
Algorithms of Oppression? Yeah. Sophia Umoja Noble.
I still have
which I'm sure needs to be updated at this point, but was just oversimplifyingly making the point that the algorithms that are dominating our lives are made by humans and based on the worldview of the dominant forces of society, and then play themselves out as a result. So the idea that they're going to, create something new or open up new avenues of thought, that's not how it works. But again, overly simplified. we have a couple great interviews with her, by the way, and people, if they're not familiar, should check out those discussions and or read her book. And I'm not sure if I haven't been in touch in a minute, so I'm not sure if she's updated. She may have come out with like 10 more books at the time since then, but I really appreciated that argument for sure.
Since we're talking about data, I think that we should do
That
some
data
research
set
on this
is wrong.
topic.
My bad. The 100 likes out of 321 here. That's a bad data set.
You say stay out the chat. Oh, anyway.
I know you all.
That's lying.
I
With
peek in every once in a while, and then I see people saying some wild stuff that's disrespectful and really, really underappreciative of me in particular. So I just then I just ignore it and step back out.
How dare they ignore your data set?
You know what I'm saying? You know, they ignore the data, the overall jab data set for some anecdotal.
People in the chat don't know me. I actually do dibble and dabble in data all fucking day. I just do want to do it on this. I think that people should have some time to themselves where they just talk shit and then kind of talk about topics, but not really too much. You know, just kind of go in and out, maybe make a few arguments here, maybe not. I don't know. Just a little fun conversation. But next time I'm going to bring my fucking data sets ready to go, since that's all you guys care about. You don't want to ever have any fun, and it's lame.
Thank you, David and Leah. Let's get back on that. Shout out to Eugene and the Freedom Side and Rania.
Oh.
And by the way, I and thank you, David. I just quickly, I forgot about this. Renee, is Renee still in the chat? Because they shouted out Renee.
Probably left because you started bullying me.
Oof.
I'm kidding.
Oof. But they shouted out Renee. And Eugene's going to be on with Saturdays in a week or so. Eugene Puryear.
Yeah.
Puryear.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Just the
last name there.
And it's got an interesting family. Got a legacy of people in struggle in that family too. Very interesting. Yeah. And Rania Khalek. So yeah, you did. So they shouted us on the. So I actually clipped it and put at least a portion of it, an edited version on my.
Not famous for me.
But they shouted Renee out, and I invited because Eugene's already being scheduled, but I went ahead and invited Rania at some point as well because we haven't interviewed her yet.
Are they gonna come on together or separate?
Probably, I don't know. Eugene's gonna be by himself. Rania should get her own, I think. She's got a variant. She's in Lebanon now. Very interesting. Okay. My super socialist crush says be modular. She's got a very interesting background and experience, and I've been watching her work for a long time, but never really interacted too much. So I put that in the air yesterday as well. So, but yeah.
This guy in the chat, PD, made a good comment that I think is something we should delve into. He said, I think Twitter in the 2010s did more to change things. I can agree social media makes corporations more vulnerable to public opinion. And I think that is an interesting topic because I have heard that. And I've heard that especially about Twitter, not about the other socials. Twitter, for some reason, was doing a big one.
I think it has. Social media has, I think, forced them to adjust. But I would end up erring on the side of they found more ways to manipulate us through social media than the reverse. So I, would be cautious of. I'm often cautious, and I'm often in disagreement with people who make claims about how.
So cautious. You don't ever want to be reckless just once.
I've been there, done that. I'm trying to make corrections. I'm still trying to make corrections based on those mistakes. Yeah.
I don't make those kind of mistakes now.
Good for you. But I definitely want. Please don't. But I do think that we end up losing more of those battles than we win in terms of social media being turned into. Black Twitter and all of these things about, people's agency and I tend to disagree with most of that. but I definitely think it's forced them to adjust. So
Yeah, but I don't think that Twitter now is like that. I would say Twitter from like the 2010s to like 2021, 22-ish had that kind of impact. After that, I was like, And I do keep seeing all these comments about lived experience not being data. I would hope y'all are not taking my lived experience as data points.
no, I think it might be the concern might be that you are.
Why would I?
I don't know. That's that because it felt to me at one point that you were arguing in defense of Obamacare based on your personal anecdotal experience, as opposed to the data or the politics or that
And I
might
think maybe
be,
that's how you hear it in your academia brain.
and perhaps others
I
in the
was
chat.
just having a conversation.
Okay.
I didn't know that it was being taken as
You're right.
serious.
I do have
I just think-
academia brain.
I just wanted to explain what I thought about the ACA.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying that, and that's why we should all get the ACA because it's the end all be all, and that's all we're ever gonna have. No, I think that niggas got the ACA, stopped really fighting for universal health care as much. Obama kind of corrupted that too by firing that guy or whatever.
It was
But
placement, Amber.
I just see like different. I feel like I see different movements like just take over after something doesn't go the right way. So like they didn't get universal health care and they just switched to the Green New Deal. And now they switched to the Medicare for all. And now they switch, like there's no like sticking with the campaign, which is why there's no fucking winning.
You know when the referee ever tell a person who's in a boxing match, just stay down. No.
That's messed up.
No, I don't watch boxing.
Don't get back.
All right, let's look. We got a couple minutes left. We want to end on a fun note with this Drewski video. Is that why you sent it, or
I was just sending it so y'all can see what it said. But
is this a spirit tunnel? The Drew?
I don't know.
Update. It is the Spirit Tunnel. Someone in the chat asked me to make a liquor music playlist. Gichi, we should partner on it because
Liquor House. Okay, yeah.
Liquor House music too. Anyways, in my dating updates, I haven't talked to that guy who sings the Liquor House music in a while because he didn't text me. I'm not gonna text him. So
Lord.
But I still talk to the poly nigga that y'all all love.
I mean, I like the Liquor House dude. I don't really know about the poly dude too much.
The Liquor House dude kind of short. Honestly, y'all kind of look similar, Geechee, but he isn't as attractive.
He isn't attractive?
He isn't as attractive.
Oh, you call me cute?
Attractive. She's very clear about her categories.
Oh. Damn.
She didn't say fine.
Jared, don't be trying to pull a rug under my compliments, dude.
I'm saying we in the same boat.
He pulled a data rug under my lived experience. So
oh wow. All right, listen, folks, please come back later for Darker Than Blue, Saturdays with Renee, Sundays with the Ear Doctor, Monday morning for a very special culmination of 100 years of Malcolm X with special guests on his birthday. And make sure you had a bell rung and not missing anything. Please go to the Patreon and check the Andor and the Sinners review discussions.
Ooh. Oh, I got to see the Andor.
Yeah. And anything else you all want to let folks know before we dip?
Wednesday, Dare to Struggle, Dare to Win is back on. So come through 6:00 p.m. Eastern time. Amber.
Huh?
You in the chat. What you got going on?
She's in the chat.
I was reading.
Get out.
If you can harm, you can have. If you can harm, you can
Somebody
have.
said grow up and text that man. I'm not gonna text him. I don't even think I saved his number. It don't even matter.
I agree. Wait, so the Andor is the second one. I remember the last one that y'all had me rocking with. I think you, Ricky, and
so yeah, this was me, Ricky, Renee, and Todd on Andor.
But the first one y'all did was with Ori them.
Was Ori on that one? I don't even remember.
First one, because I sent it to several people, and that's my first time watching Andor, to be honest with you, because of y'all.
You just sent it to me. It's just something about you.
This was like years ago, a year ago or two, or so. This was a long time ago.
I don't trust it.
Andor, I can't. I'm almost mad at how much I like it and how and I'm definitely mad at how we don't get to see this quality of media for African world struggles in particular. But I definitely encourage people, to the extent I would ever encourage any commercial media, that people watch all of these Andor series. I don't care about the rest of Star Wars. Ricky and Ty got into the Star Wars stuff. I don't care about none of that. They really know the lore and the details. I just love these.
Where can you watch it?
It's Disney product. It's a Hulu, Disney somewhere, or Disney somewhere. One of them.
Oh, okay.
But I definitely don't endorse those platforms. So however you know. But
what's the name of the guy? Traore in Burkina Faso.
Traore. Ibrahim Traore.
Yeah. Okay, so we should talk about him next Friday because there's I've been following the stories. And I also just love like what he's doing and how he, like, even though people are like, that's still colonialism. I was like, but is it? I think that you're just choosing to see it that way. And I would love to have a conversation about it, since Dr. Ball loves bringing up data and analysis, and talk about if what he's doing is actually liberating the people or if it's just him taking control to be a dictator.
Hey, we should invite some experts on that for that one. I'm not an expert on that, but I'll definitely love to engage. I'll read up on it and get caught up. I'm definitely behind on the details.
It's like no matter how much I try to make this a fun Friday show, you motherfuckers.
We can have fun. To me, that is fun though.
It's all fun.
I have had a blast today.
But not like all the time. Have you? Because I think we learn more and more that I have completely different views from all of you.
So you said you don't. You just want to have fun.
I don't. I'm just fucking with you.
See, but just for the record,
they're actually very similar. But
even if they're different, I don't find it. I don't, even where we disagree, I don't find that to be ultimately displeasurable, and I don't find it to be hostile. I think it's important. I think it's sometimes fun. I think it's, so I'm just saying. I love it. I've had a great time.
You know you love me so much. I also
Who wouldn't?
This is like one of my favorite things to do, because I do grow a lot in a lot of the things and theories that I think about, because I don't really have other people to talk about it with other than y'all and like Ricky and other people. And so talking it out to me usually helps me like connect the dots, even though you did throw a data rug under my lived experience. But somebody clipped that part, because somebody in the chat said that was a good line, and I agree.
A data rug under my
lived experience.
That's I like it.
You know, some of the people in the chat keep saying they're here for analysis, but we keep telling you niggas we don't do that on Fridays. It's like y'all think we
lying. No, we do.
Well,
we do, but I mean that's not the main goal. You know, like it's not like my main prestige. Like I just kind of throw it in there for funsies.
Amber and the pips, or Amber and the analysis. we your analysis.
Yeah. Well, Geechee don't be talking enough to be giving a solid analysis.
I be trying.
Well, you know, I'm a drummer at heart, so I don't mind playing the back.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you can play the Drewski video. I think it's funny.
All right, let's ride out to the Drewski video and make sure everybody like, share, subscribe, support the Patreon.
Like the video. I put y'all on a pussy rap today. Go like it. I made a playlist. Send it to your friends.
That's probably why we got the likes down. No, I'm joking.
Nah, let's go. Here we go. Peace, everybody. Only if you're willing to fight for it, as Fred Hampton used to say.
Drewski can dance, though, for real, though.
He can.
You already know what's up. Drewski. Everything that's how we about to turn him up. Drewski. Every kind of money that we show him up. Drewski. And the happy place. Drewski with their hub. Drewski. Every PM, you already know what's up. Drewski. Everything that we about to turn him up. Drewski. Every kind of money that we show him up. Drewski. And the happy place. Drewski with their hub. Drewski. Every PM, you already know what's up. Drewski.
Remix. 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 remix, 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 remix.